What is up, guys? Welcome to the bonus. Today we are going to be talking about how to find a niche, and we have a ton of stuff for you guys to go through. I literally created every single one of these from scratch. We're going to talk about some of them. We're not going to talk about all of them because it would take me 20 hours to actually go through every single one. But let's talk about what we want in a niche, because it comes down to basic human needs. People need love, people need pleasure, sensory pleasure, people need material wealth, self-actualization, self-confidence, social success, and these are pretty much universal for everyone. And so I sat down and thought about what everyone needs from a basic sense. And then when you actually go to create your store and you go to create your product line and you want to actually build something in a Shopify store that's going to last and not go out of style or kind of be on the downtrend, is you want to have some type of product that kind of caters to one of these ways. So love and friendship, this could mean family, having a store centered around moms or dads, or gifts for parents, or Valentine's Day, or anniversaries or weddings or engagements, right? That is love. People will always love each other. People are social creatures. They need love. Love is one of the most beautiful parts of being a human. And so when we're talking about love, we can also talk about friendship. People are always going to have best friends, best friends forever, all that type of thing that people are buying as birthday gifts or going away presents and things like that. So, having giftable products does a lot of things for you that are good in general. There's way less returns when it's a gift because it's kind of taboo to return a gift. People are less price sensitive when it's a gift because people are kind of willing to spend a little bit more as far as getting gifts for their friends and family. So let's talk about social success. People are always going to be, wanting social success. They want to appear successful. They want to, have people out there think of them in, a positive light. And what social success means from a product perspective is, people want to look good. People associate, looking good with feeling good and, being successful. And so what does look good mean? It means beauty, right? Getting in shape. So, any type of fitness product lines, cosmetics, makeup, all of that kind of goes into social success. Material wealth, right? People are always going to want to, again, look good. So high fashion lines, entertainment. People are always going to want to have fun. People like novelty gifts. People, want to fill their homes with things that, entertain them. People are talking about ways that they want to be entertained. So think virtual reality, think anything TVs, right? People need accessories for their TVs like sound bars or stands, or, if they want to hang them on the wall. Self-actualization, right? People want to feel content with their own lives. You can think like yoga here. We're talking about meditation or creating kind of the ambiance for, personal fulfillment, spiritualization. It kind of reminds me of diffusers or essential oils and this type of space. And so just get creative with it. I wanted to kind of highlight what people like. Mass media, diet and weight loss is obviously an absolutely enormous niche, especially in the USA, because, there's obviously slightly have a obesity problem here. Fitness, like we talked about, self-development, cooking is great. People are super passionate about cooking. People are always going to, need things for their kitchen. Everyone needs to eat. And kitchen has been one of my most successful kind of overall niches just throughout my, physical product career. And so cooking and your kitchen is always going to be like little items everywhere. Think like, garlic presses, or just look around your kitchen. There's tons of little things like pan holders, drain, like pasta strainers, and, everything. Just get creative with it. And so gaming is a great one. There's huge amounts of money being poured into, esports and, video games in general right now. Mark Cuban actually just invested in, a big esport kind of company. And so gaming is one of the biggest up and coming niches. And if you can kind of carve out your sub niche of gaming, it's going to be super profitable for you. And whether that's, accessories like for your chair, or like a gaming mouse, or, anything you can think about, just kind of look. You can use Intelligence, the app, to just kind of look to see what the most popular Shopify stores are now for gaming. You can think like posters of big game shots and pretty much anything you can think of. The moral of the story, guys, is use your own experience. If you're a gamer, maybe it's better to get into the gaming niche. If you, love makeup, maybe cosmetics might be carving out your sub niche of cosmetics might be right for you. So use your personal experience, use your own creativity. And guys, we have literally put together such an exhaustive list here just to kind of get the wheels turning in your brain, just because kind of sitting down and thinking about like what niche should I get into is kind of hard to do from just scratch, which is why I wanted to put together this huge list. So let's take a couple of them. So let's talk about aquariums. We talked about this throughout the whole course. And aquariums are just an absolutely fantastic niche. There's a lot of tiny little parts of aquariums. There's the rocks, there's the plants in there, there's like the little figurines, like the treasure chest that has the bubbles coming up, and those types of little products that you can kind of e-packet ship from AliExpress straight to your customers is great. And again, aquariums have a passionate audience base. If you are going to get a huge aquarium or some type of aquarium, you obviously have some discretionary spending money. You're not going to buy an aquarium if you can't afford to put food on the table first. And so, those are the type of things that I like to look for. Archaeology is a great one. Rock hammers, any type of stuff to kind of collect rocks or polish them. That would be a fantastic niche to look into. Astronomy is great. You can attract people's attention with a blog on astronomy. Maybe it's one of your personal passions, and then you sell parts of telescopes, or you sell star maps that you custom create, or any type of thing. Just it's all about being creative, guys. And look at how many we have here. It's ridiculous. I wanted to put everything kind of on the table here, and think about things that are kind of not sexy as well, like earwax removal kits. Some of these products like mole removers are restricted on Amazon, and you can't sell them on Amazon unless you have certain permission. But on Shopify, those same kind of bans don't exist. And so finding the holes with what's banned on Amazon, not able to be sold on Amazon, like e-cigs, like all of the fluid that people put in e-cigarettes, and all of that is such a good way to kind of get ahead of the curve. And because if it's not on Amazon, that takes out half the market, or 75% of the market immediately. And so, the e-cig trend on Shopify kind of has already come and gone. It's very saturated now. So, sorry to burst your bubble if you're thinking about doing that. But, that does not mean that there's not a sub niche or a way that you could carve out, your own personal kind of brand in the e-cig arena. Geology, again, is a great one. Gardening is fantastic. What you want is passion. You want your audience, you want your customers to be passionate. If somebody cares enough about their garden to go out to a store and buy specific things, then they're probably very passionate about that garden and gardening in general. And so, we'll take one more example, but video games, again, is a great one. Vaping, like we just talked about, vape juice, tobacco products. People, a lot of people smoke. Ties and neckwear. I mean, people have had a huge amount of success with socks and custom ties and neckwear, just kind of like weird stuff, like novelty. Survival is great. One of the best-selling, most profitable products of all time with Shopify and e-commerce is a tactical flashlight, funnily enough, just because it's cheap to make, seems expensive, small, and just sells great on Facebook ads. So take a look through these, guys. If anything kind of jumps out at you, do more research, right? Apply these to the product research module. See if you can actually kind of prove demand, and see if there's a way that you can actually carve out your own sub niche, guys. And so this is one of the most exhaustive lists you can find anywhere of niches, and these are the niches that are going to be popular going into next year, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and take a look through those niches. Post your thoughts in the private student group, and let's get to the next one.